Shalom. This video is about one of the few phrases I remember from high school Latin, Vestis verum reddit, clothes make the man. Now I have some other videos on modesty, 2 videos in fact on tzniut. That's not what I'm talking about here. This is based on the Torah portion Tetzaveh, which describes in great detail the clothing of the priests, the high priest especially. They wore this fancy thing on their head that said Kadosh L'Adonai, holy to God. They wore a breastplate with 12 stones of Israel. They wore tunics and sashes, and they had all this fancy garb. Now, no Jews today wear this kind of clothing. Other religions have adopted it for their priests. But we put this on our Torah. So if you see my video on Torah Aliyah 101, you'll see the dress of what we put on the Torah with a breastplate and either a crown like a king or the rimonim, these 2 things that go on each handle, sashes, all this kind of stuff. The question is, why? Why did the Kohanim wear this? What was the point of it? Well, what's very interesting is there's 3 different views about for whom it was intended. Sforno, who's this great medieval commentator, says the point of it was to inspire the worshiper, that the people watching need to be inspired. Now today, really, the people officiating at services, the rabbi and the cantor, don't wear special clothing, other than maybe high holidays where we wear a white kittel. Now in some less traditional Judaism, they wear these long minister-type gowns or choir robes that were worn by kind of the Protestant ministers, and it was adopted by Jews. The Hasidim wear a gartel, like a belt, and they have this special dress clothing for Shabbat, kind of shiny, long black caftans, and fur. Some of them wear fur hats. But other than that, the clergy doesn't wear anything special. All Jews, and especially Jewish males, and now in the egalitarian Jewish world, females too, wear talitot, prayer shawls, and I have a video on that. But it's interesting that Sforno said that the point of this was to inspire the worshiper, that they would look at the priest and be inspired by the clothing. But the Sefer Chinuch says something else. The clothing was to inspire the Kohen, the person wearing it. When he dressed up like that, he felt special feelings and internal holiness. I remember in high school debate, used to wear suits. And on Fridays before we'd go to a tournament, we'd be dressed up in a suit all day because we'd leave right from school. And I felt so differently being dressed up in a suit in high school than the regular clothes you wear. And I remember visiting my kids who also were high school debaters, and when they went to see, before the tournament, I'd go see them or something for lunch or whatever, and they'd be dressed up in these fancy clothes, and all the other kids in high school were wearing like schlocky clothes. And there seems to be a dress-down emphasis today in religious worship. It's no longer your Sunday best, your Shabbat best. In my synagogue still today, people more or less dress up. The theory is, even though it's an unseen king, you're going to visit the King of Kings, and you should dress up with respect. And there's a difference. Now, some people say, well, I dress up all week for work, and I want to relax when I'm in shul. I kind of understand that. But there is a difference when you wear a certain kind of clothing, how you feel. And Sefer Chinuch was addressing that the Kohen himself would be inspired by the dress, the kind of dress that he was ordered to wear by the Torah, to be more enthusiastic, that he shouldn't let down his spiritual guard. And finally, we have a midrash that says God looked at the breastplate of the 12 stones of Israel and was inspired. God remembered his covenant with the nation of Israel. So you have all 3 views there, that the clothing of the high priest was meant by one commentator to inspire the people watching, another said it was to inspire the Kohen himself, and a third said it was to inspire God. But it goes to highlight that old Latin phrase that I remember from high school, Vestis verum reddit, clothes make the man. And that when we dress, we should think carefully about the intentionality. Are we to inspire other people with good thoughts about us and holy thoughts or not? Are we to inspire ourselves to live and conduct ourselves in a holy way? And are we looking in such a way that we can make God proud of how we're dressed? I think those are 3 valuable ways to think about the idea of this Torah portion and the specific orders of the Kohen. And maybe we should all walk around with something that we feel like is on our head that says Kadosh L'Adonai, holy to God. And when Jews wear kippot, head coverings, it's to remember that we are to be inspired by God. I have a video on kippot, but just remember that the way it's written down in English letters is usually yarmulke with an R, which consists of 2 words, yira de malka, awe of the king. So to inspire us to be in awe of God. Shalom.